Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Rutherford, and the question of the day is, why does Hashimoto's cause fatigue? So that's a great question, because if as a functional medicine, as a certified functional medicine practitioner, and as someone who practices functional neurology, I get that question a lot. And in the beginning, when of our learning all of these things, if someone came into us and asked and just said, I have fatigue, and they said nothing else, the things we would think of would be thyroid, blood sugar, stress hormones, and gut. And thyroid, you'll notice, was at the top. And if it's profound fatigue, it's usually thyroid and adrenals. And Hashimoto's is the cause of most thyroid problems, as the Mayo Clinic has now verified that it's caused 85 to 90% of hypothyroid. And the hypothyroid part of it is significant, but it's not the only reason. So hypothyroid, when you get hypothyroid, basically Hashimoto's is an immune attack against your thyroid. Okay, this is the immune system attacking, this is your thyroid. Okay, and it's so complex in so many ways. One of the things that happens though is most 90% probably or more of people who have Hashimoto's and this immune attack against their thyroid to varying degrees develop hypothyroid. So hypothyroid is so basically it's beating up the tissue. There's two things Hashimoto's does. One is it just beats up the tissue so that it can't make enough thyroid hormone. But then intermittently, it'll start to attack enzymes. And when it attacks the enzymes, that part of it, which is totally separate from attacking this, causes the jitteriness and the anxiety and the panic attacks. So they're two separate things. So in the beginning, at least, and intermittently, it'll just fatigue the ability of you to be able to make thyroid hormone. And that's hypothyroid. When your thyroid hormone creates, without getting into the whole thyroid hormone thing, it ultimately creates something called T3, and the T3 is like the gas pedal. That hooks into the cells. That's what helps the mitochondria in the cells, which are the little energy guys, to give you energy. And when you get energy, okay, you get energy because oxygen is going everywhere. You get energy because it's helping your blood sugar to process. It's helping the cells to be efficient. All boats rise. Every single physiological aspect of your system rises when you have enough T3 in your system. When you don't have enough T3 in your system, everything goes down. When you get fatigued, everything, all the things that I just talked about aren't going to work. But fatigue is also hugely brain, right? I mean, I think I shouldn't say right, because I think a lot of people come in here and they just think fatigue, like my whole body is like this. But really, it's more. It's as much, if not more, brain than anything else. So the brain isn't getting enough oxygen. When you start getting low thyroid, low T3, you'll tend to also get lower blood sugar. Your blood pressure, even if it's high, will tend to get lower. These are all things that will stop you from getting oxygen to your brain, oxygen to your cells. These things are also inflammatory. That inflammation also will affect brain and general physiology. So over a period of time, the exacerbations of I'm fatigued, then I'm excited, then I'm fatigued, and then I got too much T3. That's fatiguing to the system. If you were to get a textbook on pathology, and you were to look up any disease at all, the very, very, very first symptom that you would see would be fatigue, because just disease in general just fatigues the system. But Hashimoto's definitely ups the game, because it attacks your thyroid in every way that your thyroid can possibly be attacked, and then that attacks, you have receptor sites for T3 hormone in virtually every single cell of your body. So everything goes down. So this was one of the first things, to me, one of the first breakthroughs in chronic fatigue, which I suffered from, okay, was Dr. Datis Karazian coming up with the fact that Hashimoto's was an entity. There was a gentleman not far from here that discovered the Epstein-Barr virus. Guess what? Epstein-Barr virus is one of the causes of Hashimoto's. And that's where the understanding of chronic fatigue started to build and has built on it since. So Hashimoto's is, if you're really like, and it's not some sort of a pathological disease, then it is definitely a legitimate differential diagnosis to track down and determine whether you have Hashimoto's as a part of that. Because if you're massively fatigued, I had a patient in here the other day, I called it death fatigue. If you have that type of fatigue, you should check to see if you have Hashimoto's. So that's a question for the day. You have any other questions about this subject, you can go to powerhealthtalk.com. We have like 700 hours of online researched materials and presentations. We have a number of hours on Hashimoto's and chronic fatigue. If you want more, if you would like to know more about that, please feel free to access those. So thank you. Glad to share this with you today. Keep the questions coming.